tired of everything being scripted. We're tired of every comment being politically correct. And, you know, and even though Donald has to spend a lot of time pulling not just his foot, but the toenails and the stuff that falls off his cuticles out of his mouth, at least it's refreshing to have somebody who's just going to say what's on their mind and give an honest, if not insensitive, response to a question.
It is exactly what this presidential political cycle has been desperately seeking. Someone who doesn't need donations, no real connections inside the Beltway, and who is just bombastic enough to make people believe he could run this country better than anybody. Of course, I wasn't talking about Donald Trump. I was talking about a guy who has a better jump shot, maybe better hair, and no shame whatsoever in telling people he's the best there is at what he does. Might even include being far better at video games. Around the dial, head to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Former GOP candidate for Congress owning the Texas airwaves weekday afternoons, 3 to 7 Central Time at 570 KLIF. Grant Stinchfield. Grant, we got Mark Cuban. I swear you could have picked this, and this is just beautiful. If Mark Cuban gets involved in the GOP political race, Grant, all bets are off. Donald Trump's in trouble. I think this guy nails it simply because of who he is and the kind of bombastic nature he has.
Well, here's what's really interesting about this, Ed, is that when Mark Cuban mentioned this about crushing Donald Trump, he first said if he got in as a Democrat, he would crush Hillary Clinton and then crush Donald Trump. Now, Mark Cuban is kind of an anomaly here in Dallas. Obviously, most people love him in Dallas. He certainly is a character. Nobody really knows where he stands on the political spectrum. You've got to believe fiscally he's a conservative or leans Republican. Socially, though, I believe he's probably further to the left on things. So I don't even know if he'd jump in as a Republican or a Democrat.
But you will have to say, though, that if a guy like that got involved, knowing what our political cycle has become right now, where it's Donald Trump and its entertainment value, if you're going to put somebody for entertainment value up against Trump, Cuban might be just the exact kind of guy that the Republicans would desperately hope gets in there, maybe just to sabotage Trump.
Well, I think Cuban would be great no matter where he runs. My biggest fear, though, Ed, is really I'm worried he gets in and runs as a Democrat. If he runs as a Democrat, he cleans up. Not only does he wipe Hillary Clinton, but he also wipes the general election, no doubt about it. I worry about a guy like Mark Cuban actually getting through the primary election as a Republican because of where he stands on social issues and the amount the religious right plays in a primary battle. So it would be interesting. I don't think you're going to see it this year.
Oh, it's so much fun just to think about. Here's something that's very distressing. The Fort Worth Police Officers Association found on Amazon.com offering a specific T-shirt for sale on their website. We have some pictures of it. The T-shirt's basically using a slur against the police. They blotted it out. But just the fact that something like this would wind up on Amazon, Grant, that in itself is the real distressing part, and be for sale for 1 second. I think the cops got a real reason why to be angry.
Yet 2 nights ago, I got a text from a retired Dallas police officer who texted me a link to that Amazon link that was selling T-shirts that said F the police, only it spelled out the whole word. I'm using that term for TV here. And so I looked at it. It had blood splatter all over the shirt, and I could not believe Amazon is selling this. Remember, Amazon is a company that said they're not going to sell any more Confederate flag memorabilia. So they're going to take down Confederate flag memorabilia and sell F the police T-shirts. Amazon ought to be ashamed of itself.
Well, think about that,
Grant.
And I think here's what we're talking about here. It's not, we get it here, first of all, but the fact that this could even be put up for sale and there's not someone watching what goes up there, that's the most distressing thing. They don't even check what's for sale on their site.
Well, so as of yesterday afternoon, there were still other F the Police T-shirts up. And guess what, Ed? I also found Confederate flag memorabilia still being sold on Amazon when they said they were taking it down. So I know that company's making all kinds of money, but I don't know who's watching it right now.
I think it's, to be very honest, I think it's time for people to think twice about Amazon, because if these kind of things are sitting up there for sale and what it says about cops, what it says about this nation, what it says about racism, so many other things, it's something that they need to consider. If they think they're doing things for the good of society, this does not belong on their website. Reminder to everybody, weekday afternoons, 3 to 7 p.m. Central Time, 570 KLIF in Dallas, Fort Worth. Grant Stinchfield, always a pleasure, my friend. We'll talk to you again next week. Now, for those who hope their commercial airliner is as safe as it could be, look to what recently happened in Las Vegas. Now start really worrying. Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news, The Hard Line, continues.